What's up everyone, and welcome to a new video here on the official MTG Arena YouTube channel. My name is Ashlizzlle and today we are stomping around in Standard with Mono Green Stompy. So Mono Green is truly one of those decks that I hold near and dear to my own heart because it was basically like the first deck that I ever played in Magic and on MTG Arena when it was, I don't know, what was this, like 5-6 years ago or something? And it was like a Mono Green Stompy deck with Galta. You know, like that 12 mana dinosaur that gets like discounted. That was fire and I absolutely love that deck. So Mono Green will always have a special place in my heart. And this time around we're going to see if Mono Green can do something in the current Standard meta. And this deck has gotten some really fantastic upgrades from Bloomborough. So let's have a look at the deck list. So when you're building a Mono Green deck, you can basically take it into two directions. One of them is, you know, ramp based, where you basically want to like try to get to these like very expensive creatures at the top end as fast as you can. Or you can go take it into more like an aggressive direction where the curve matters a lot. And that's kind of what we're doing with this deck. In this deck, if we can play a 1-drop into a 2-drop into a 3-drop, we're winning games. So let's have a look at the 1-drops that we're working with. Up first we have Evolving Adaptive, a 1-mana Phyrexian warrior creature, and it enters with an oil counter on it. It gets +1/+1 for each oil counter on it, and whenever another creature you control enters, if the creature has greater power or toughness than Evolving Adaptive, you put an oil counter on the Evolving Adaptive. We then also have the Pop Edge Recruit. This is a new card from Bloomborough, 1-mana 2/1 Rabbit Warrior with Offspring 2 and Trample, and whenever a creature you control becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, you put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control other than that creature. And I really like Pop Edge Recruit in these types of decks because you kind of keep the power on your board. Like your opponent might be removing like a 2-drop or a 3-drop, but you still get a 1/1 counter for doing so. And keeping that like aggression and power onto your board is super important for a Mono Green deck to win games. So Pop Edge Recruit is basically fantastic. But there's also another reason why I really like Pop Edge Recruit, and that is because there's a lot of hidden 1/1 counter synergy in this deck, which is why you see the Bloated Contaminator here, the 3-drop slot. This is a 3-mana 4/4 Phyrexian Beast with Trample Toxic 1, and whenever Bloated Contaminator deals combat damage to a player, you proliferate. So proliferating is you choose any number of permanents and or players, and then give each another counter of each kind already there. So the 1/1 counters on the Pop Edge Recruit, or that the Pop Edge Recruit has given to something, you know, they'd get an additional 1/1 counter, you could get an additional oil counter on it, and I guess if your Contaminator, you know, poisons your opponent, you can give them another poison counter too, but that's not really what we're trying to do here. So speaking of 1/1 like counter synergy, we have the Quirion Beast Scholar, 2-mana 2/2. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you put a 1/1 counter on the Beast Scholar, and when it dies, you distribute X 1/1 counters among any number of target creatures you control, where X is the number of 1/1 counters on the Beast Scholar. So the Beast Scholar also makes a fantastic target for, you know, these like cards that give 1/1 counters to things, like the Pop Edge Recruit, for instance, because if the Beast Scholar dies, you keep that power on your like board, which is, once again, important, like I said. Now, we have a fantastic card here from Bloomborough that is great at giving out 1/1 counters. And that is, of course, Innkeeper's Talent, 2-mana enchantment class. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you put a 1/1 counter on target creature control. The level 2, permanents you control with counters on them have Ward 1. And the level 3 is basically a doubling season. So really slots nicely into like a Mono Green, you know, aggressive / stompy deck like we have going for us right here. Now, we also have the Keen-Eyed Curator in the 2-drop slot. I absolutely adore this card. I had to get the alternative art because it reminds me of this meme called Uppies, and I'm obsessed. It's a 2-mana 3/3 Raccoon Scout, and as long as there are 4 or more card types among cards exiled with Keen-Eyed Curator, it gets +4/+4 and has Trample. You can then spend 1 mana to exile a target card from a graveyard as its activated ability. So this card it's just great to have something like that, a 2-mana 3/3 attack the graveyard, and it has potential to grow in the future, which, you know, makes it a fantastic 2-drop card. You know, with it being 3 power and 3 toughness, it also synergizes really nicely with the Evolving Adaptive, what we're looking for. But yeah, I'm a really big fan of the Keen-Eyed Curator, and you can grow it, or you can give it +4/+4 and Trample a lot more often than you would like imagine. It truly has great potential, and I'm a big fan of the Keen-Eyed Curator. We then have another Raccoon friend in the 3-drop slot, which is Scrap Shooter, 3-mana 4/4 with Reach. And when it enters, if the gift was promised, destroy target artifact or enchantment an opponent controls. And I like this card a lot. It's just a great call in the current meta with so many like enchantments and artifacts running around. On top of that, it's a 3-mana 4/4 with Reach, which is just great stats on top of that too. And speaking of things with reach, we gotta have one copy of Polycrana's Reborn in our deck. 3 mana, 4/5 with reach. And if you have the mana to transform it, it'll become a very, very scary creature. Now, the other card at the top end, 2 copies of an X-Bane Ferox, 4 mana, 4/4, Death Touch, Hasten, Ward, collect evidence 4, just, you know, another aggressive creature that can just go face. That's kind of what we're trying to do. But in order to go face, we need to be able to remove things and get rid of blockers, which is why there's a lot of removal in this deck. Well, then again, 8 pieces of removal in Standard isn't even that much anymore, but we have access to great removal spells. One of them is Hard-Hitting Question. 1 mana, sorcery, target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature or planeswalker you don't control. Very simple, very straightforward, and just, you know, great value. But then we also have the new enchantment class, Hunter's Talent. 2 mana, and when it enters, target creature control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you do not control. Basically a bite spell on an enchantment. Then we can level it up, and whenever you attack, target attacking creature gets +1/+0 and gains trample until the end of turn. I really like that in decks like this, where, like I said, we're working with 1/1 counters, we're trying to like grow our board. Sometimes if your creature doesn't have trample, you know, it could just get chumped and it'll feel really bad. So if you level up the Hunter's Talent and you give, you know, your creature +1/+0 and trample, fantastic value, and you can just don't have to worry about like any chump blockers. And then the level 3, at the beginning of your end step, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, draw a card. If the game goes that long, it's fantastic value, and we have card advantage in this deck too, which we'll absolutely love to see. And that's basically what we're working with here in this mono green aggro stompy deck. Like I said, we really want to get that 1-2-3 curve. We have great interaction, and I truly think mono green is looking stronger than it has ever been. So let's get into the gameplay here, but before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe to the official MTG Arena YouTube channel. And if you enjoy what you're seeing so far, you can also check me out over on youtube.com/Ashlizzle, where I post daily MTG Arena videos. And with that being said, it's time to stomp all over the standard ladder and play some Mono Green Stompy. All right. You know what? I like this. Let's do it. The Evolving Adaptive in the Beast Caller into Bloated Contaminator. That is a lot of proliferation, like value that we can get, you know. And then we have 2 pieces of really good interaction. What more could you possibly want out of like a mono green hand? This is nice. Frog. Playing against frogs. Oh my god, I love frogs. Okay, let's do this. We're on the draw, so that Valley Might Caller is gonna get really scary, I imagine. But we're about to find out. Wait a second. There's plains here. Interesting. So maybe it's just rabbits. I got baited. Yeah, I need to grow my my board here though, so that my hard-hitting questions, my removal, of which I have 4 right now, is actually going to be able to do something. One time. Could also like double block something. It's not bad either, but ideally, or, you know, what could I be looking for? What's my best draw here? I think I don't mind a land. That's probably best. Sanguine Evangelist, did that trigger? It's a bat, I guess. That's pretty cool. That's really cool synergy. All right, land found. Let's get this party started. Soon we're gonna remove everything. Cool, I also get the adaptive trigger. Yeah, just gonna pass the turn a little bit spooked by what the opponent could be doing here. Okay. Sure. This is just gonna be bad attacking us. Yeah, we're gonna have to find a way to deal with that Beauregard Mentor as well. Okay, so let's do hard-hitting question. I do want to deal with the Quest Scholar as well, because that's growing everything too. Let's go Quest Scholar first. And then let's do Hunter's Talent. Probably on that Beauregard Mentor, I imagine. Okay, they just give up. They knew what time it was. Like, everything was going to get removed. Mono Green was doing mono green things. We'll take it. Alrighty. It does a trick. Let's go. The 1-drop into the 2-drop and maybe into the 3-drop. That's kind of, like I said, what we're looking for. So starting off with a Pop Patch Recruit and giving it 1/1 counters. I mean, being able to give a 1-drop with trample 1/1 counters is just great. Oh, it's Okay, Uppies has arrived. I'm just gonna call it Uppies. Like, I'm sorry, my editor will hopefully put a video of Uppies in there and you'll get it. Let's play it out. I'd rather put like 3 power on the board and get the Innkeeper started. You can always get it next turn. We'd take advantage of like, you know, something being targeted with Paw Patch Recruit's ability, so I'm vibing. Soul Tie. Interesting. Squirming Emergence? Possibly. Ooh, 3-drop found. I repeat, 3-drop found. So I could remove this. Get rid of a blocker. Okay, yeah, that's... it could be Innkeeper Stallion plus Hard Hitting Question, and then we could hit for 5. I guess 6. Or Scrap Shooter, and like only Keynet Curator has a decent attack. I think we just gotta go hard. So I'm thinking it's gonna be like Hard Hitting Question on the Archaeologist, and like Innkeeper Stallion, and we thrive. Now, if they're playing Reanimate, which I would imagine they are, then it's important to keep Uppies around. Because Uppies exiles graveyards, so let's put the counter on the Recruit. Because if I'm growing the Keynet Curator, then like it's only gonna get, the Bitter Triumph for them is only gonna get like more tempting, you know, so you don't want to be doing that. You want to save Uppies. You don't want to get rid of it. But it's probably still gonna get removed anyways, I would imagine. Because it like threatens their strategy so much, yeah. At least we get a little counter on the Paw Patch. So probably gonna give it Ward. There I go. Scrap Shooter. I mean, I don't need to remove anything. Now counter on Paw Patch? Yes, I think so. All right, opponent. Lethal damage. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? The greatest thing is like, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. What is the plan? I don't think they can Skirming emerges and it attracts out of the graveyard at this point, so that's great. But I guess they could get an Archaeologist. It's not going to work though because I have Hard Hitting Question. Hee hee hee. Hoo hoo. I could also hit him with Hunter's Talent. Which one's more BM? I mean, they know what time it is. Sure. Sure, sure, sure. 2-drop into 3-drop, missing a 1-drop, but we also have good removal. We got 2 lands. This seems good to me. Scrap Shooter, Raccoon. Such cool flavor. Alright, let's get this started. Happy to be on the play, though. Swamp. Vine Lasher. So, probably a Lizards or like Golgari Landfall or something. Beast Scholar is a strong start. We'll see if we're gonna have to remove some Lizards. Probably. Oh no! Burning Tree Emissary. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We don't... I mean, we kind of care, but we can just remove it, so... They don't really have good options here. Fortunately. They realize that. They're like, oh. I just wonder if I should start with Contaminator or maybe Scrap Shooter because it's got the, it's got Reach. So that's what they go after. Cool, cool. Cool, cool. Let's do... Now that we have Evolving Adaptive, I'm kind of tempted to do Evolving Adaptive. So maybe it's time for Hunter's Talent on Deep Cavern Bat. Just get rid of that. There we go. And then Evolving Adaptive, grow to Beast Scholar. Now, if we attack, then Flame Cash Gecko hits. Just trying to figure out... And I guess the Vine Lasher could attack too. But we're on the play. We should probably take advantage of that. What if they double block? Are we mad at that? A little. I'm just gonna hold back. I feel like an attack could be fine, but everybody's just conceding to mono green. Like, we broke the meta, guys. What's going on? I don't know. 2 lands, 1-drop, 2-drop, and potential 3-drop. Some interaction. I like it. Okolo Village is a little like, you know, but it's okay. We don't have too many of them. There are some raccoons in here, so it's cute for those. Mountain. And roll the draw. Just mono red, Gruul prowess. I mean, you could go in many, many directions. Not blocking that, bestie. B-Scholar? I mean, knowing that they play like 600 combat tricks, I don't think it's in our like best interest to hold back here and like double block. We'll find a way to keep the Emberheart Challenger alive, or like, you know, take out both my creatures. I can't really do that. Gotta get that hard-hitting question online. So I guess our best draw here would be like a land at the top. We could do B-Scholar, hard-hitting question, or just like play Holy Kranus. I don't know. Holy K. It's just gonna get removed, isn't it? I'm in danger. We'll see. So that's gotta be a creature. I wonder if it's Heartfire Hero? Such a strong card. A long pause. Difficult decision to be made. Or are they... Okay. They tried to maybe cast a shock and tap the Rockface Village, and knowing they can't do it. Urabrask Forge. Interesting. So we do have the Scrap Shooter to get rid of that, but we'd have to give the card. And that could get tricky. Okay, please give me a land. Alright, I guess I can be mad. I'll remove that. Swing for 4. We're off to the races. Hopefully we win. I just need a land. That'd be so good. I guess like just playing Scrap Shooter in general would grow both of these creatures as well. You go from like 4 power to 6. There's something so very scary about giving mono red an extra card. Okay. That's happening. The races. 5, 7. One evolving adaptive can win us the game. Go to 9. I mean, obviously that means if the opponent doesn't interact with us like at all, but it's okay. Friends Resolve. What do you have? A blocker? That could be relevant. We'll see how greedy they get. If they feel the urge to like swing with that Swift Spirit, they're so greedy and they will lose, so try me. Well, if there's one thing you can rely on, it's mono red players being greedy. So, you take him, everybody. Anyways, we know our move. We'll do like evolving adaptive plus hard-hitting question, win the game. Thanks for your greed, red player. I could have just tried to like play it into like the late game and, you know, really work with the Urabrask Forge value, but they don't. So now they lose. That's fine. 1 land. Tempting. I can't though. I can't though. Not on the MTG Arena channel. I can't be too greedy. I can get rid of the Ferox here. This hand looks good. Usually, like if it was on my stream, you know, I'd go full greed. Probably get punished for it. End up losing the game. We make responsible decisions here, you know? Alright, let's get started. I don't know why they gave me a little heart, but I'll give you 1 pack, don't worry. We're friends now. Ooh, really happy to see that. Let's go Innkeeper. So this has to be Feyblade or Soft Pixie, whatever we call it nowadays. I don't know anymore. not in a great spot because my Evolving Adaptive is my only creature around, and if they do the Blade, then I will be sad. Okay, they can't do that yet, though. So that'll feel a bit better. Temporary lookdown? Oh, maybe it's, interesting. Okay. I get the vibe they're going for now. Let's do Scrap Shooter. Not gonna give my opponent a gift, because I don't need to remove anything. Look at that Evolving Adaptive. It sure is evolving. Nice. 1 mana 4/4. The Hunter's Talent gets better too. I really like that Scrap Shooter has reach here to stop the Pixie. But let's see if they have the Blade. Do you Blade? I was sure. I really hope they don't. Okay, that's pretty good too, actually. That is really good too. Keen-Eyed Curator. So we have a creature and a look down. I think I'm gonna like try to level up and go Scrap Shooter, swing. We could see if we can make an effort to exile some cards. Try to see if our good friend Uppies can maybe get +4/+4 and trample. I don't really feel the urge to remove something here. I'm imagining there might be a big snake that comes down sooner rather than later, and I do want to be able to remove that one. But it's hard to predict. Loran. So that is my Innkeeper's Talent gone. Alright. So let's activate Uppy's ability and exile an enchantment. So what I really like about this now is that like the Hunter's Talent, we can level it up immediately and give our huge Scrap Shooter. We'll go here. Trample. What I was talking about in the deck tech, so that's really sweet. There we go. 6/5, 3-drop with Trample and Reach. So yeah, they kind of have to block with the Pixie here, which would be Keen-Eyed Curator. And then it's time to find a way out of this. So this is really great that that fizzled. I also get a, if they had a creature, they get a Wicked Roll, which, you know, is good value for the Viper. But yeah, what are you gonna do, opponent? I can hit a creature, but that's not 4 card types. There it is, the Blade. Alright, I'll still like exile Loran in case they bring that back. Well, I guess Pixie would also be bad, but I can't do that with the mana that I have at the moment. Bye, Uppies. You know, we have to hope that they don't run that Blade back. Looking good so far. Alright, we win the game. Let's go! Nice. I do really love the Fey Blade Pixie deck. Big fan. Alright, we got him.